I think the return of Saka was a hell of a boost just for the fans in general, and the season is kind of a bit on the Champions League, if you would say, because I do feel Liverpool will kind of run away with the title.
And it was something else, that reception when he came on. He'd been out for 101 days. He gets a goal inside his first 7 minutes back. But it just seemed to be an energy that kind of coursed through the veins of the supporters, then into the team as well.
I know, I just went out to warm up, I was stretching, and I thought they scored. That is honestly how loud it was. I haven't heard anything like it, to be honest. So I knew Saka was obviously a fan favourite and a star boy. He came through the system, but no, it was amazing to see, to be honest. And no, I'm happy for him because it's a bad injury that he had. Hopefully rehab's gone right, because you never know with hamstrings and electric players, things can happen again. I mean, yeah, it's kind of meant to fall to him, and I was warming up at that point as well. So no, it was amazing for the Arsenal fans, and it's good to see him back. It's good for the Premier League. And will he start against Real Madrid? Maybe. I think they might chuck him in.
Well, I mean, Danny, you look at it, that's his 68th goal for Arsenal in all competitions, but the first ever that he scored as a substitute, which just underlines his importance to this Arsenal side. And when he comes on in that game, when you see him normally for Arsenal, he just causes the players around him to raise their games as well, doesn't he?
Well, he's a threat. He's one of those players that he's got pace. He wants to get the ball and run at people. He makes things happen. And that's not always just for himself. There's other players. If he makes a run in behind, fullback drops, defence drop, someone else can drop into space. Odegaard can find more space in those areas. That they haven't really had that threat, and they've lost something because of that. Had he have stayed fit, would they have got closer to Liverpool? Probably, but I don't think close enough. I think Liverpool, you have to say, have been superb this season. They've been fantastic in the league, especially. Mercy's right. They're not going to lose 4 games. And even if they do, Arsenal still have to win every single game.
Exactly.
Of that. The title is pretty much theirs. It would be the biggest collapse of all time if they didn't win it. But they'll just keep going. Obviously, they'll be a little bit disappointed they're out of other competitions as well. But obviously, the league in Arne Slot's first season is something special. So that's really important. But Arsenal, there's just something missing. It's very, very difficult to put your finger on what it is. Everybody's had injuries. Everyone has to deal with injuries to key players. But from Arsenal, that X factor's just missing to get them to win a title.
And just as Saka comes back, Jay, last night Gabriel picks up an injury. We had to find out how long he might be out for. It didn't look a good one. It looks like yet another hamstring injury for Arsenal this season. In the same way, it was a blow going forward having Saka out for so long. Because of that relationship, particularly with Saliba at the back, how big a blow is this in terms of their Champions League aspirations, first of all?
Yeah, I think it's a massive blow. I mean, I was talking to Merce off air, and we were saying that partnership is what is making Arsenal's backline so good. I think when one of them is missing, it's never as strong. And from my point of view, if I was playing against both, Saliba and Gabriel, I would prefer to play against Saliba than Gabriel, because when I look at the way Saliba plays, he's a rash. He's always tight to you. He's always bothering you. He's always getting involved in that physical battle. Where when you look at Saliba, he's more of a player. He'll like to run things out. So it's a massive blow. Again, Arsenal have got another injury, going against Real Madrid next week as well. It's going to be tough for Arsenal to go and win that game now without him playing.
And Merce, Andrea Berta, we spoke about him on Soccer Saturday. The new sporting director was announced on Sunday. He was out the game last night. I mean, listen, the obvious priority, because we've talked about it for so long, is getting a striker in during the summer. In terms of what else should be top of his in tray as he starts his job, what are they for Arsenal?
I just think that's the main one first. I think they've got to get a centre-forward over the line. I think they've got to bring in a top-draw centre-forward and then go from there. I think that's the first, before they start.
Do you think his arrival aids that? In terms of getting the man they want?
I think the quicker they get in the sporting director, the better. I think Edu was brilliant at the club. I think, they had a lot more successes than not successes with their signings. You look at them and look at Man United, it's chalk and cheese. So they need to get someone in, long as they work with Arteta. I think that's important when the manager and the sporting director get on. And if they both sing off the same hymn sheet, they need a forward. And if you look at it at the moment, the forwards that are being touted around, they're all 6'2". Yeah. They're all big lads. So, they're going in that direction. Do you know what I mean? They're not going to go for a Jesus again. They're going to go for that centre forward with a bit of presence about them.